Hello, 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 hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, 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 welcome. It's good to have football back. I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very good, nice, and fantastic to have football back. I've watched about 9 games today. Genuinely, it's absolutely insane. Some games at the same time and everything. It's good to have Premier League, La Liga, Liga, and lots of leagues back. Let's be real. It was fantastic to watch. I'm going to be honest with you. It was fantastic to watch. But ultimately, we are here to talk about Arsenal and some other bits and bobs here or there. So let's get straight into it. Today, we're going to talk about Eze, who is looking like going to Spurs. Arsenal are not signing Eze, and Arsenal want to sign a left winger. How is that going to go? Well, go figure. At the end of the day, we're going to get into that. Of course, we're going to get into the fantastic comments our captain, unanimous voted captain, pretty much has said that finishing second is not a failure. Oh, bloody hell, we're going to have a time with that one. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some bits and bobs regarding transfers here or there. But ultimately, we're going to talk about the things I just mentioned. So smash the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new around here. Road to 900 subscribers is going strong. We are 40 subscribers away. So keep subscribing, keep smashing likes, and don't forget to leave your thoughts being heard in the live chat. Big up BBK Sports. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you're feeling fantastically well. Great. Hope you have had a great day, enjoying football, relaxing, chilling. Hope rehabilitation is going well as well with you. And yeah, he's direct reflection of this manager, 100%. 100%. Martin Ødegaard is the spit image in the terms of our manager, 100%. Loser mentality. If finishing second is not a failure, man, that is not gonna lie, quite pathetic, to say the least. That is pathetic. Here is BBK Sports link as well. Go subscribe, show him some love. Big up AJ. Big up AJ. Hope you had a great day. Like the stream and subscribe, as AJ is saying. Big up, big up, big up, big up. The moment there's a sign for them in white, Sagbert. See? It's getting to those points already. Berta has been here for literally half a year, and already people want him out. That's how nuts it's getting in this fan base. That's how starved, annoyed, pissed off, and on the edge we are. Quite a big part of fan base as well, to some extent, I'm not gonna lie. Big up most wanted. Big up most wanted. Hope you have had a great day, my guy, today. Hope you're feeling well. In some also dark side of news, my FPL is totally cooked. I'm not gonna lie, my FPL is also cooked because, well, Birds did nothing yesterday. I'm not gonna lie, got 2 points. And Brighton conceding late goal. Brighton conceded late goal against Fulham. And that cost me about 6 or 7 points as well. The Quippers went from 8 or 9 points to 2, which was, well, fantastic to see, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, on more to play tomorrow because only 4 players have played so far. So I have 7 still to look forward to. Hopefully that helps me a tiny bit. But yeah, people, today we're gonna kick things off with this. Eberechi Eze. Eberechi Eze, obviously. Regarding Arsenal, since the first game of the season against United has gone quite close, the transfer rumors have died down a bit. I'm not gonna lie, the transfer rumors have gone a bit of a silent mode. But yeah, Eberechi Eze, regarding Arsenal, is not gonna happen by the looks of things, and you have to make amends with that. Just put it that way. Arsenal have been looking at Eberechi Eze all summer. There were mixed messages. I wonder what the mixed messages were, because from what I can gather, at least, Eze has directly said that he wouldn't mind joining Arsenal. He's open to the move on personal terms being agreed upon. That's what we got told all the freaking time, and it looks like, well, let's be real. It's not like that. It literally is not like that. But the talk in the last 2 weeks has been that they'd prefer a left winger after sale. So again, we are still in this position where Arsenal need to make sales to actually sign someone, which is quite ludicrous to think about, which is quite insane even to think about, because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't, this, for me, it doesn't add up. Given that, for example, on stream, we are talking about Arsenal transfers on daily basis, we are talking about situations surrounding Arsenal and things that get reported. If you put that overall, the bits of information like the puzzle pieces together into complete puzzle, they don't add up. They literally don't add up, because you have like a half that says one thing, another half says another thing. And the nuts part is that the most credible sources, let's just put it that way, as people call them tier 1 sources, are on each side. And when you put it together, it just doesn't click. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever in terms of Eberechi Eze. And apparently Arsenal need to sell now to sign. And it doesn't stop there, to be honest. Yeah, apparently Eberechi Eze has said goodbye to his teammates tonight at the team hotel training ground at Palace. And the player will not take part in tomorrow's game against Chelsea. Like that, if that is not an indication that he's going, I don't know what is. And then on top of all that, I'm hearing this today as well. Arsenal have huge PSR headroom and could have easily completed the £68 million deal for Eberechi Eze if they wish to do so. So at the end of the day, it means one of the two things. Arsenal are dumb and they don't want Eze, they want somebody else. Or this is wrong. One of the two, basically. Because who is even Kieran Maguire? Who knows? But he's somewhat credible, but go figure if that is true. But Arsenal have huge PSR headroom, obviously. Not sure whether that in factors the FFP and the other things we basically live by at Arsenal Football Club, right? But in terms of PSR, we have massive headroom. There are talks that even we could spend up to still 200 million nearly, and we still wouldn't be in breaches of PSR issues. So the biggest question is why? What is happening at Arsenal? Why all of a sudden, if this is true, and then they are saying that, where is this? Here it is. Arsenal need that after sales. Is it only FFP? Or ultimately, is this all just crap? Because at the end of the day, for me, it all stinks. Literally stinks of crap. It's more getting pushed that Arsenal don't want to sign. If you don't want Eze, just tell us up front that we don't want Eze. Not do this 1 month rain dance, jiggy Macarena type of situation where we get linked, we get unlinked, we get linked, it goes grave silent, we get linked, and all this stuff gets reported throughout the whole window. And at the end of the day, when the window is only 2 weeks left in the window as of today, pretty much, we get told that Arsenal don't want Eze. We have room to sign him if we want him, and we have the headroom to spend, but we just don't. Like, make it make sense. Like, seriously, make it make some goddamn sense in this instance. Because he's going to Spurs. It looks that way. And it's really painful to look even at. To even think about it, that Eze, an ex-Arsenal's prospect, a guy who arguably wants to play for Arsenal, is going to go to our rivals literally 2 yards up the road. Especially given the fact that Eze has said that he would love to play for Arsenal. He would be perfect in this team, in my opinion, at least, as a number 10. Not as a left winger, as a number 10 I'm talking about here. And he would be something that we really, really need. And if Arsenal have no issues spending 68 million, that means they can spend even more. If there's a huge PSR headroom, that just says that it's not just 68 million. It's like 150 at least, which means we can sign Eze and Rodrigo in the span of that money. Which now raises for me the biggest questions. Are these talks regarding Arsenal-linked players are just so we can basically drag this time out as the window closes, we don't get anyone? Because no matter how you look at it, there would be annoyance in the fan base to some extent. Because if the talks end here, let's just say a week ago, Arsenal come out with a statement, we are not signing anyone this window, whole fan base would be in meltdown. If Arsenal drag these deals out and there are only links, no bids and stuff, fan base still is in meltdown. So in those terms, it's a lose-lose situation no matter how you look at it. However, as a fan looking in, as maybe a supporter and other things, I would love to know these things. Obviously, for business-wise, that may allow other teams get players cheaper. But who the hell cares? At the end of the day, who the hell cares? I'm not worried about Chelsea signing a player. Liverpool signing a player for like certain amount of money. I'm worried about Arsenal. I'm worried that Arsenal are not signing players. They are not doing what is necessary to improve the team, to push the team forwards and win something. I'm worried about that. And if, for example, Spurs get Eze, let's just say for 5 million less, who the hell cares? Like, serious talk, who the hell cares? Like, it makes for me zero sense in those terms. We need players in and would love to have Eze, but let's be real. This man would have Ødegaard to play him in natural position. Yeah, Ødegaard would be 10, and most likely Eze then would go to the left. Like, it would be the case. It literally would be the case, and kind of don't want to see that as well. I would like the club to sign proper left winger. Give me Kieran Yildiz. Yeah, Yildiz would be decent if we get Rodrigo, right. And this is the other thing: if we don't get Eze and get Rodrigo, nobody is complaining. By the way, let's be real. Nobody is going to complain if we get Rodrigo, right? The thing is, though, knowing Arsenal, knowing our history in the windows, and the PTSD that has set into Arsenal's fan base, if you have been Arsenal fan for long enough, you have paid attention to Arsenal's windows, how they do business long enough, most likely it's going to be dragged out to the last second, and we're going to get another Raheem Sterling level signing on the deadline day. That is one of the biggest things I think big part of Arsenal's fan base, including myself, are very worried about and are very annoyed about it. This could be the case. And this is the biggest issue. And by the way, 2 weeks left in the window. Well, 15, 16 days. Depends where you live and all this stuff, right? Remember, June just started. It's 1st of June, 2nd of June. And I had a stream saying, well, June is here. Where is the promised Zubimendi? Where are the promised signings? And nothing was signed yet, right? And there were enormous amounts of top Gooners sitting here and saying, window just opened. Be patient. Relax. And all these things, right? Window is about to close in a bit. And I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy with what the team has to offer at the moment. The squad we are in. We have signed 6 players. On face value, that should sound great. But when you look at the names, it's not too encouraging, is it? Because you could argue there are only 2 names that improve the team, or at least maintain the level of the team. It's Zubimendi and it's Gyökeres. Rest of them, squad players. Oh, it's a good signing for squad depth. It's good signing for the squad depth until they start consistently because of an injury. Until it's because of a red card. Until they have to start one of the biggest games of the season because something has gone wrong. Then it's going to be meltdown settings. Then the same fan's going to say, oh, we should have done better in the window. Yeah, but when I say this, when you say this during the window, we are being toxic and negative. Like, hindsight is a beautiful thing. Everyone's smart after the war, after the things have done and it hasn't worked out. Everyone's smart. Maybe you should have done this, maybe we should have done that. But at the end of the day, it's not like that, is it? Why we always need to be in these situations when we don't do enough in the window, we don't sign the proper players we need in the window. And then when shit hits the fan, we have to reflect on this and think, well, we probably should have done better. Then the next window comes and we do the same things. It's like we never learn from these situations. And I'm not talking about the club alone in this instance. I'm talking about the fan base as well. Because the same things that God said last window, window prior, also being said in this window. And most likely are going to be said in the next window. So nothing ever changes. It's the same things. It's like Einstein's definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And that's how Arsenal operate. And fan base, big part of Arsenal's fan base, lap it up, eat it up like it's the best thing they have ever eaten. That's what's pissing me off to maximum extent. It's not Berta's fault if Eze doesn't get done. Kroenke has not opened his pocket well enough, and if he does, PSR won't even matter. Exactly, that is the other thing. It's also on the owners. Let's be real. We cannot drop all of this on Arteta because Arteta during the season is going to get his. Let's be real. It's expected already. We cannot drop this on Berta because if he doesn't get the funding, he can't do much. It's now also on the owners to maximum extent. Yes, on these streams, I don't speak about ownership too much because it is what it is. Because the first thing we can get out of this club is the manager. Ownership is a bit much different story. But if we speak about the ownership, they have to go. There's no argument about that. They haven't done enough. They are happy sitting and stewing in their basically top 4. As long as the Champions League money comes in, as long as the TV revenue, commercial deals, everything comes in. We are the only club that KSC owns that has won nothing in the last decade, last 20 years even. We are the only club. Our women's team even has won Women's Champions League against quite a bit of odds. Let's be real. We beat Real Madrid. We beat Lyon, arguably top 3 women's team in the world. We beat Barcelona, number 1 rated by a mile women's team in the world in the finals. We are the black sheep of the whole KSC family, let's be real. And so far, it doesn't look like the ownership wants to change that. They don't want to change that whatsoever. And it's been like that for years. And obviously, it all comes from the time when Kroenke is actually signed Arsenal full-time and everything, when Stan Kroenke proudly came out in an interview and said, well, I didn't buy Arsenal's stake to win the trophies. It comes from that already. And it even started before when Arsene Wenger said top 4 is like a trophy. I love Wenger, right? But saying stuff like that, it has stuck with this fan base to the maximum extent on many levels. And they live by it. That's the nuts part. Big up, Gavin. Big up, Gavin. Hope you're doing well. Lookman is still available, just pay his buyout clause. Yeah, he's also available still. There are lots of players available. We just don't open up the wallet. Big up, 14 likes, people. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you added, we didn't sign 6 players, we signed 1. Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing. We added some players we didn't require, AK Madueke. Exactly. If we are looking at this way, that is as well in those cases, because we have signed 1 player above the level, which is Gyökeres, to increase the level. Rest of them have been replacements like player per player replacements. Like Neto was replaced by Kepa. Mosquera was for Tomiyasu. Who else was there? Let me think now. Norgard for Jorginho, Madueke for Sterling, Zubimendi for Partey. Only one that has come in on top is Gyökeres. I'm not saying Zubimendi doesn't improve our team. I'm just saying that we haven't done enough and we haven't spent money again in a way that would be properly spent. Because I'm not talking about this window. People need to realize that when I speak about this window, it kind of includes the previous windows. When we have wasted money, when we haven't signed good enough players, when shit hits the fan again in this window, we need to again rectify the mistakes we have made in previous windows. I'm not talking about just one, I'm talking about all the windows combined to a certain extent. And people think I'm just hating or something I'm just talking about on one window. I'm not. I'm voicing my concerns. I'm voicing my disappointment in the team, what they have done, in the ownership, how they're running the club. And it's not just for one window, that's cumulatively multiple windows, multiple seasons. That for me is the big case. It's been reported we have PSR room to get Eze, so but do it, yeah. But the question is, do Kroenkes want Eze? Does Mikel want Eze? Because let's be real, Andrea Berta doesn't have the same power as in other clubs. The sporting directors have the power to sign a player despite what the manager says, because there are many clubs who operate like that. The manager can give him suggestions, opinions, but the final decision is on sporting director. For Arsenal, it's not like that. Mikel Arteta gets insanely huge say on who we get and who we don't. Unfortunately, it also is starting to feel like that Arteta doesn't want Eze himself, because he already lost a battle for Sesko. Because let's be real, part of us wanted Sesko. Gyökeres. Part of us wanted Gyökeres. Also, Andrea Berta wanted Gyökeres. Berta wanted Gyökeres already for Atletico Madrid when he was still there last year. But Simeone went straight over Berta's head to Atletico Madrid ownership and said, get me Julian Alvarez. Right? Apparently, that's the rumor flying around. So Arteta has lost already 1 battle. And if he loses this battle and we get Eze to some extent, I will be happy. But Mikel Arteta will just have to deal with it. Literally, we'll just have to deal with it. And I don't know if he can take another loss on the chin. Let's be real. Nobody's hating here, Nasir, sorry. This is what club does to us, bro. They confuse the crap out of us to make us fools every window and then leave us short when we almost at the finish line. Exactly. Confuse the crap out of us to make us fool every window and then leave us short. Yeah. And the nuts part is the fact that we are close, right? And when this empty period, right, needs sales to sign or the transfers go silent for Arsenal, right, happen, it feels like a century-long gap. And then when basically the time is almost up, we get some sort of a panic buy. Many times we have done it. Let's be real, like Kim Kallstrom, Mikel Arteta at the time, what's his face, Raheem Sterling and everything, right? And we just have to deal with it. Technically, it's the right position he has signed, which position we need, right? But the player we have signed, it's not the one we want. It's not the one that is going to improve the team. It's not the one that's going to elevate the team and bring team forwards. Like, it's always the situation where it's not good enough, and we just have to deal with it at the end of the day. Big up Mubarak. Well, is it true that there's to Arsenal? It looks that way. It looks that way. It looks like he's joining Spurs, because there have been no talks about Arsenal in the realm of Eze. Only Spurs in the last 2-3 days. There have been some mentions that Arsenal are this and that, but the most concrete ones are with Eze. Madrid wants Saliba for Rodrigo. Yeah, I read that today. I read that today. I don't know if I have it saved up and prepared for the stream, but there were some talks that, if I can find it, there were talks that somebody proposed. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Here it is. Apparently, Real Madrid, right, would consider a swap deal right now, with Arsenal for Rodrigo and William Saliba, right? And it's not just coming from market; it's also coming from other places, right? The thing is, though, Arsenal have apparently rejected it and said no chance in hell. They much rather pay for Rodrigo straight up, which is something Arsenal kind of never does, which is something unheard of in terms of Arsenal, and keep Saliba in hopes that he signs a new deal, or maybe they will figure it out what to do with him next summer. Because next summer, the last year of Saliba's contract begins, and then that really is going to hit the fan. Like, in those terms. Big up BBK. If you can read this, you're a legend. Hit the likes. Yeah, people, hit the likes and subscribe. We are off the road to 900 subscribers. Big up, people. Much love. This is already good enough. Injuries and PGML cost this team at least one title. How long, well, I cannot say we, but how long certain people are going to blame everything besides the ownership, besides the manager? How long it is going to take until it stops? Because every single season, it is injuries or it is PGMOL. Every single season. They are at fault that because something didn't happen our way. If we are as good as these big top gooners want to say, we shouldn't be... PGMOL shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't come to a point where PGMOL ruins our season. If we are as good, if Super Duper Mick is the best manager in the world, as they say, injury should not be a problem. We should have proper backups, proper rotation, squad management, substitutions, tactics, style, plan B, plan C, plan D during the games, and Mikel Arteta wouldn't look like headless chicken on the sidelines doing a Macarena or landing airplanes. That would be the case. But it's not. We had an injury-free season 2 years ago. Mikel Arteta screwed it up. That was not PGMOL. There was no injuries. It was Mikel Arteta. Last season, we had a chance last summer to sign a striker, to sign the necessary players, and to go up and to potentially win something. And once again, injuries hit. We were not prepared, and that was it. We never caught up. You would think that after $1 billion nearly spent by this manager, we would have proper 11, proper backups, and proper plan in place. But it's not like that, is it? We are the only team that doesn't have a proper left back. We have makeshift midfielders or center backs playing left back. We don't have a plan B, plan C during mid-games. Our plan B against PSG was Rory Delap long throws. It's not going to work. It literally is not going to work. Almost 6 years at the job with Mikel Arteta, still hasn't figured out how to beat mid-low blocks. Still the same issues. Creativity is still an issue. Took him 3.5 years to replace a proper striker. Took him 3 years to sign an actual forward, by the way. Because since the Jesus signing and Trossard, you can count him in, we hadn't signed a proper forward as well until Gyökeres came in. Like, those are not injuries. Those are not PGMOLs. That is Mikel Arteta. That is the ownership, Tim Lewis, Richard Garlick, Edu at the best, basically. And again, after $1 billion spent, you would think that the gap between starting 11 and the bench would not be as big as the Grand Canyon, would not be as wild as the local girl in the small village. It wouldn't be as big. But then again, as soon as Rice gets injured, Merino or Norgard or somebody else is playing midfield, or Havertz. That is a drop-off like straight down the cliff. Zubimendi gets injured, Rice has a red card. We are seeing Norgard, Merino midfield. Anyone wants to see that? Against Villarreal, we already saw how it's going to play out. Gyökeres gets injured, Havertz is back up top. So ultimately, in this window, we have signed one player to improve the team, all besides Zubimendi, let's just put it that way. That wasn't player-per-player signing. But as soon as if he gets injured or gets a red card or something happens, we are back to Havertz in the mid at striker. We are back to the same team we played last year and the year before that. This is not PGMOL. This is not injuries. This is proper and utter mismanagement of the funds, of the player rotations, and player squad build in general. There's nothing regarding PGMOL or injuries whatsoever regarding this. Big up Rasta Stocks. Big up Rasta. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. That Rangers guy is good. Is he Prem proven? All this talk about Prem proven is bull. Exactly. I wanted Rangers at Arsenal. There was a stream, there were multiple streams where we talked about this. I said, why don't we go and sign Rangers? How much was he? 45 million or something like that. Let me check. Rangers, 46.5 million. 46 million pounds. I said, why don't we sign him? And people said, oh, he's not Prem proven. He is shit. Only good at Italy. And he's going to do nothing in Premier League. You saw how he played today against Wolves? Oh, but it's only Wolves. So what? It's not always you need Prem proven. You need a proper manager in the place to install the proper style, proper system, proper mindsets, and find a way how elevate some players' strengths and hide their deficiencies in certain departments to make him the best possible option for the team to play. And it's pretty evident that our manager cannot do that. Here is Rasta Stocks link, by the way. Go subscribe, show him some love, people. Road to 1K and everything is going strong. By the way, United fan. He's a United fan as well. Go show him some love. Same happened to Liverpool, as they had PGML bad decisions, they had injuries. That's excuse for the manager. And exactly. When Ødegaard played basketball, did Beyblade things at Anfield, you know, the one hand he put the hand on the ball, and PGML did nothing. Nobody complains about that. As soon as something happens in terms of Arsenal, everyone throws their toys at the pram at the end of the day. Simple question is that doesn't anything. Here we go again. How did you... Big up, Ryan. Oh, bloody hell. 2002, Arsenal versus Spurs. Thierry Henry scores the goal, carrying the ball from halfway line to the end of the goal and everything. I didn't watch the games then because I had only 4 channels or 5 on the TV. I didn't have cable, didn't have nothing. Internet wasn't a big thing back then. I had nada. I just was watching 10-minute sports news, which I had at the end of the regular news at the end of the day on the national channel. And they were talking about football, and they obviously North London Derby and everything. They covered it for a minute and they showed some highlights. And from that moment on, it basically spiraled into all that. Basically, after that, I tried to read newspapers on it, tried to find some stories in libraries and stuff like that, because I didn't get internet till 2008 or 9. Literally, I just watched what I got on TV through my 3, 4, 5 channels I had, which only covered as well Champions League finals, Euros, World Cup. I didn't even have football coverage at home. Basically, Once I got the internet, I could afford to pay it for myself because obviously I was 18 at the time, I was working and everything. I started to watch Arsenal archives. I watched games from 2000s and onwards, learning the history, learning the title and everything, how it all has gone. Afterwards, of course, everything spiraled from there. Like, I'm not a traditional fan who was brought into it, who was born into it and anything. I don't have friends in life that likes football or sports in general. I'm just on my own doing my own thing. I'm good. Big up on my way to work. Well, good luck with that. Working on Saturday. Damn, that's kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. Big up, Rasta. Big up. I told you yesterday that Ødegaard said that. Yeah. You told me. Yeah, Beggy. You told me he said that yesterday. And since you have mentioned it, let's go and talk about it because we didn't cover it too much yesterday, obviously. But today I thought, like, I was looking at it, I was reading it, and the more I read that first statement, the more it got on my nerves, to say the least. And I knew that I will have to speak on it because this is embarrassing, to say the least. Whoa, I will get copyrights from Sky Sports. But yeah, this is what Ødegaard said. We're in position where we feel like second is not a failure. That alone, as BBK said in the beginning of the stream, is the pretty much shows the mentality of our captain, by the way, of manager, and that is straight reflection of the team we have at the moment. It's total and utter spinelessness and gutless. That is what is our team at the end of the day. Because how come when the third biggest team in England, one of the top 20 teams in the world, a captain of that team can come out and say that second is not a failure? Second place is a failure. Let's be real. For Arsenal, for the club that we are, that standards where they should be set for this club, for this team, what we should achieve, it is a failure. Because in the beginning of the season, for the biggest teams, City and everything, right? That the targets are Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, all wins. And that should be the case for Arsenal as well. But when your captain, the guy who should inspire you, who leads the line, who addresses problems at the club as well, who should at least, who basically who has extra power compared to other players, comes out in an interview and publicly for the whole world comes out and says second is not a failure. That shows everything you need to know about this club and where they mentally are. Because let's be real, this is the same thing top Gooners say almost every single day. And this is now giving them extra fuel for the fire to say, but you see, Ødegaard said that. Our captain said that. He was unanimously voted by the team. And that just shows that is pure sheer mirror reflection of what the team is and what and how the club is. Spineless, gutless, and embarrassing. Because in Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira, right? Even Cesc Fabregas when he was a captain, I don't see this happening ever. Tony Adams, if one of the players would come out and say this in an interview when Tony Adams was the captain, he would smack that person around the head instantly. He would be benched for the next game. Tony Adams would say that. There should be no reason why Arsenal players should come out and say that second place is not a failure. Let's be real. Second place is not a failure. Where does that make sense? You might as well not participate if in your mind second place is good enough. You just do enough to be in that second place, top four. Rest of it's all good. And this is what top Gooners say, what Mikel Arteta says in interviews, how ownership portrays the club. It's not a coincidence as well that when we do transfer windows, when transfer window finishes, we always say we haven't done enough. We are a gun left short. We have done enough to stay in the top four, but not to challenge and go for the title. We say that every single day, pretty much. After the window, during the season. And this is the sheer reflection. When you and then Ødegaard said, when you are that close and you can feel it, can you feel it, Saka? It motivates me. It's extra fire in the belly going into the new season. Again, the belly thing. That's from Mikel Arteta. Arteta said in his press that the team elected Ødegaard as captain. I don't believe this. I don't as well, to be honest. I'm kind of swaying in the direction that this stuff that got asked him in an interview, and he answered that quite eloquently, may I add, was a setup. It was basically damage control after what Tony Adams said, because they needed to justify it and somehow basically calm down the fan base, because there is a big part of fan base who thinks that Ødegaard should not be the captain. Tony Adams said that Ødegaard should be stripped of captaincy, and quite a big part of the fan base kicked off. And one big part agreed with him, let's be real, and quite a big part disagreed with him. We looked at the comments on Twitter about this, and some of them even said that Tony Adams his statue in front of the Emirates should be removed because he said that. He should shut up and go back home. He's a clown. That's what they said. But he said nothing wrong. He was talking from captain's perspective. What captain is, what captain does, and how he should be. And from now on, let's be real. Ødegaard does none of those things. For me, he doesn't convince me as a captain. Second place, wait, let's check this. Well, people say, my captain, this is alarming. The fact that he thinks second isn't failure should tell you all you need to know about the targets and mentality of this club. Facts. Ødegaard's hunger is tangible. Hopefully he can drive Arsenal from chasing second to genuine contention. Dude, we haven't won anything with him as the captain. All this and then he hides on the pitch. Second is not a failure. Get this guy out of the club. Facts. Like, come on, people. It motivates you to pass to Saka every time and never take responsibility to lead the team. Yeah. Also, by the way, have you noticed that the interviews after the game are mostly done by Declan Rice and somebody else? When basically it's not going our way. As soon as the game has been fantastic and everything has gone our way, Ødegaard comes out. When it gets tough, Ødegaard almost never is mentioned and never shows up for interviews. We haven't done enough in the window. 16 days to go, no sales, which we need to do. Get players. Others have got 3-5 stars. We only did 2. Facts. Nothing more but facts. Second is not a failure 3 years in a row. How in hell will you say something like this publicly? See? It's literally failure. What on earth is he on about? Winning the league equals success. Not winning the league equals failure. Unless your objective going into the season solely to avoid relegation, earn a European spot. Exactly, and that is the thing. Earn a European spot. And this is what also feels like we do every transfer window. Because our ownership and the way we sign players are usually just enough or a bit more than enough to stay in top 4. Not actually to go for the title, but to stay in top 4 most of the time. We never do this. Like, it's actually insane. There was a Real Madrid fan. Step up then. Well, big up Warren. Step up then. No wonder Arteta chose him as their captain. Perfectly fit. Yeah, not in a good way as well. I remember Ramsdale said something similar. He was just happy to be there. Second is not a failure, not captain material. The mentality is all wrong. Exactly. In the morning when I liked this for the stream, right? There also was a Real Madrid fan who commented on this, right? And said, how the F, that is the reason why he is not at Real Madrid. This is the reason why Real Madrid got rid of him. No mentality, no nothing. We need to have pride in our club. Change the captain to Big Gubby. Sack this clown. He's an assistant manager, not a manager. Get me Nagelsmann, Flick, Eddie Howe if you could. Yeah, get a proper manager and see. I still believe that the 52 million for what we paid for Madueke could have been spent there. 30 million to sack Arteta, 22 million split that in half, Give 11 million to, let's just say, a winning manager, Conte or somebody else, for 2 years. See what happens. If it doesn't work, move on. Like, come on, people. Big up, Darren. Big up, Darren. Hope you're doing well today, my guy. In my opinion, second place is the worst place to be. You're a champion loser. Exactly. For me personally, I hated to be second. Whenever I played, I have been captain of my team. When I have played sports, I have won with my team. I have lost with my team. And I'm not gonna lie. Finishing second in the final, even if you can get to a final, because Arsenal don't get to the finals, that is the biggest pain you can ever experience in your life as a sports fan, as a footballer, for example. As a sportsman, you can genuinely second place. Losing in the final is one of the most painful experiences you can get. And this team, specifically Arsenal, as a collective unit, hasn't even been to a final. So they don't know what it feels like to win it, what it feels like to lose it. They don't have that pain or emotional lift what it gives. They don't have the know-how. Let's just put it that way. And that is also holding us back quite drastically. There is that mental block in the team as well. If second isn't a failure, so the fourth is neither, which brings us to what only ambition at Arsenal, top 4 finish. Facts. Big up Mystical. Big up Mystical. Facts. And this is also from Wenger days. Remember, Wenger said top 4 is like a trophy. And this is coming from that. It has been adapted into the mentality, unfortunately. The only thing Ødegaard feels close to his second place, this guy has... Exactly. Hence why Real Madrid binned him instantly. They already saw 3-5 years before what's going to happen with him, and they didn't want any part of it. Hence why Arda Güler is still there as a youngster. Hence why they much rather kept Isco at the time and everything. I wanted Isco at Arsenal, by the way. The fact that the players chose the captain, a problem maybe if Arteta learned so much from Pep, maybe he should choose alone who will be the captain, like what Pep did. Yeah, but that's the thing. I still believe Mikel Arteta picks Ødegaard. Personally, I believe that if Mikel Arteta picks the captain himself, he picks Ødegaard. I don't see him picking Rice or Gabriel. Because Gabriel is a nutcase and a bad man, first things first. Rice directly disobeyed his orders in the Real Madrid game. Because Arteta, Jova, Ødegaard himself said, cross the ball. Then Bukayo Saka came up to Rice and said, yo, I feel like shooting. If you feel it, just go for it. He shot 2 brilliant goals, 2 moments of brilliance. We beat Madrid. Mikel Arteta will never admit that, but that was the case. We saw the cameras they were turned to the manager and everything. We all saw that. Declan Rice and Saka disobeyed his orders, and it worked for the best somehow. Interesting, no? Arteta was lying about the captain selection. Yeah. Even if he was, I genuinely believe that was sheer utter damage control. Just so get the heat and everything off Arsenal. Those people aren't Arsenal fans, but Arteta cultists. They are clueless, and as the speaker, yeah, it's literally the blind being led by the blind. And the nuts part is where it's gonna go, nobody knows. What the hell happened to my English at that last comment? I guess, well, let's just say autocorrect didn't kick in. Big up Vigilante. Big up Vigilante. Love the new PFP as well, by the way. Love the new profile image. Big up Vigilante. Big up, yeah, big up. Smash the likes, people, and subscribe if you haven't already. Smash them. Destroy them. Come on, smash it. Oh, the fraud is over. Yeah. If Pep saw this Ødegaard would go to the under-18s, he would make him get loaned out to the fourth-tier Norwegian team, and he would leave him there. He would loan him out, and the next season he would be gone. He would be gone at the end of the day. He wouldn't keep this type of mentality. He wouldn't. Look at the captains that other teams have. Look at the captains that other teams have. Liverpool have Van Dijk. City have Bernardo Silva, if I'm not mistaken, but their vice captains are Ruben Dias, Rodri, and Haaland, I think. Even Spurs, they have Romero as captain. As a nutcase as he is, right? World Cup winner and everything. Won Europa League just now. Like, he's a winner. He knows what it takes. He's Argentinian as well. Who else is there? Bruno Fernandes. He's actually a captain. He actually is a captain. As much as, sorry Vahaha, sorry Rasta Stocks, I don't like Bruno Fernandes. Right? Because on the things he does on the pitch really pisses me off, and he feels like he's moaning too much, right? At the same time, he actually does what captain needs to do. He leads the team. If they cannot do it, he scores himself. and everything. Like I get it. Like at the end of the day, who else is there? I'm not gonna look at other teams because most of the teams that are winning, they have proper captains. Gehi was for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace won the FA Cup and the Community Shield. Like Community Shields, we don't count, but let's just for the sake of an argument, like it's actually insane. Big up Oaxaca, Resident United fan here. I wonder what's gonna happen tomorrow. Appreciate it. Oh, big up. I need to check it out. Need to catch you live at some point. Because when I go on YouTube, I sometimes check it. You're on. I go. If I don't see it, I just don't. But YouTube sometimes doesn't even announce when some people are live, and it's also annoying them. So it is a bit different in those terms. But yeah. Ødegaard, fry up, my favorite. Yeah, you want him? You want him at your club? Subscribe to Vigilante, people, as well. Gaming channel and his football channel. Go subscribe to Vigilante as well, people. And while you're at it, subscribe to this channel as well and like the stream. Well, English is my first language, so that, yeah, 100%. English is my first language as well, so for me as well. I don't stress as much over certain things I type incorrectly. I mostly stress over the fact that I have fat fingers, and when I type, and instead of letter N, press letter M. Like, those things I stress over about. Besides that, if I misspell something, I'm not too fussed about it. Since English is my third language only, it's not even my second. Like, I don't stress it over too much. Arteta, the boys love him by a mile. They selected him. What a clown. Yeah, sack this clown. We may have mentality to say that second isn't a failure. Is a failure, that we would be the top of the tree. Let's just imagine hypothetical scenario. We had Antonio Conte as the manager, and our captain Martin Ødegaard. He wouldn't be captain under Conte, but let's just say he is. He comes out and says this thing. Conte would strip him from captaincy and demote him to the bench. The furthest reserves imaginable. Let's be real. That also would be the case. 19 likes, people. Big up. If we can push it up to 25, 30, I would be ever grateful. If TT got spawned from 04 to now, he would leave the club the second he heard conversation from Arteta. Oh, 100%. He would go himself, hand in transfer request, and piece the scene. Like, to be honest, TT, if he would go to the ownership and everything, he would voice his concerns and say what he needs to say. He shoots straight from the hip in those times. So he would go there, drop some facts, and I think Arteta could be gone because of it as well. People, like and subscribe. I guarantee that if they interview Wright, he would never say that. Well, not too sure about that, because Wright has said some weird stuff in interviews. I'm not gonna lie. Wright has said some weird stuff in interviews, which is really, really bothering me already. Which is not great, obviously, but hey, we have to go with the flow in those terms, I guess. Anyways, people, Arsenal are linked with new players. Yes, you heard it. Arsenal have been linked with new players. Ironically enough, it's a defender. Arsenal interested in signing Palmeiras center back Benedetti. Mikel Arteta has already given his approval. We are signing a left center back, left-footed. He's a Gabriel's backup or replacement. If that is the case, I think Kivior is gone. Need to also think about that in those ways. Yeah, this I will agree upon. When Rice says certain things about the club which sounds very similar to Mikel Arteta, it feels a bit forced. I'm not gonna lie. When Ødegaard says it, though, it feels very genuine from the heart. And if you in your heart believe that second is not a failure, it's actually nuts. Understand English is the third language for you as well. I've learned my first language is Greek. Damn. So you're Greek. Big up Greece. Big up Greece. Big up. Big up Greek people everywhere. But yeah, I don't know who this guy is, how he looks, how he plays, but I guess we will have to look at him in general. Anyways, moving on, some more relevant news. Fenerbahce are interested in signing Alexander Zinchenko and are understood to have explored the conditions of a deal. So basically, regarding Zinchenko, there is nothing new. Seriously, there is nothing new. Because Zinchenko exploring options is always the case regarding Arsenal. It's always been the case. And nothing has basically come from it since. So we'll see how that goes, obviously. We'll see how that goes. But Yeah, it's not looking great. Sell him now if there's a possibility. If I'm Gyökeres listening to Ødegaard saying that, I'm probably questioning myself about if he's the right club after all. Yeah, if we don't win stuff, wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Man, this club needs a massive shakeup. Massive, massive, massive shakeup. Anyways, let's look at some stuff. Look at this. Look at this state of this club. Winning team in training today. You see Gabriel Magalhaes, you can see Declan Rice, Mosquera, Martinelli, Havertz, Ødegaard, Kepa, Nwaneri. You can see Calafiori in the background. You can see Trossard in the background. For me, the biggest question is, what the hell is Zinchenko doing? Because that person lying on the ground, sleeping, that is Zinchenko. Like, this picture says more than 1,000 words, I'm not gonna lie, about Arsenal at the moment. Which is kind of insane if you come to think of it. What is Zinchenko doing here? Is he asleep? Is he so bored not playing that he's falling asleep in the training as well? Does he know his days are numbered, so he does nothing in the training? Like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, what the hell is this club doing here? They're gonna egg the ball. Big up Godfrey. Big up Godfrey. Hope you're doing well. When they have those players being winners, they are. When have those players been? Yeah, as well. Yeah, somehow as well, Arsenal have managed to turn winners into losers, not winning stuff. Zinchenko dreaming on playing time. Most likely, he's dreaming on something there. Anyway, some good news. Some good news. Max Daumann is with the Arsenal squad traveling to Manchester this evening on the Old Trafford game, which is good. Hopefully he gets some minutes. I want to see Max Daumann play against United. It will be very interesting to see. And by the way, have you seen that Arsenal are traveling to Manchester by train? There were images today and videos that Arsenal are traveling to Manchester by train, which is quite interesting. We don't do that. We usually use the bus or something. We don't travel by train. Kind of nuts, to be honest. Penny pinching, I guess. Which players you think are Arteta in and out? The nuts part is they cannot admit it because their job is on the line, right? Like, if we look at this like professionally, because it's the same thing. If you don't like your manager at your work, you're not gonna say that you don't like your manager. You're gonna basically deal with it for a point until you basically are on the edge. You are basically at the edge and you just quit then of it, right? Or to basically force a move. But ultimately, players that are Arteta out, I would say it's Declan Rice, Gabriel, Saliba, Trossard, Saka, Martinelli, Timba, and maybe some others. The ones that are Arteta in are Ødegaard, obviously. Zinchenko, no. It's Ødegaard, 100%. Zubimendi, I think Zubimendi is. David Raya. Madueke. I think those are Arteta in. Ethan is definitely Arteta, all 100%. If there is such a thing, definitely he is Arteta out, 100%. He has to be Arteta out because looking at how he got treated, everything last season, even though he signed a new deal, I'm kind of starting to believe that this new deal type of situation, what is going on with Arsenal and everything, I think Andrea Berta has said that Arteta's day is kind of numbered. So basically, they are trying to re-sign players by one of the perks and one of the enticements to extend the deal, just put it that way, is that Mikel Arteta soon will be gone. I kind of believe so. I know it's a big conspiracy theory. I might sound very negative in this regard, but I kind of believe so. I kind of believe that one of the perks that they are trying to sell when re-signing new deals for players that people expect not to re-sign potentially, right, are that Arteta is going to be gone very soon. Martinelli without Arteta goes straight to the bench. Most likely, yeah, and we sign a proper left winger. Could be the case. Yeah. 21 likes, people. Big up to you all. Like and subscribe. If we can push it up to 25, 30 likes, would be phenomenal, people. Y'all are legends, to say the least. Sunderland won today. Granit Xhaka got the win. Good news. Not gonna lie, good news. Some people maybe don't care, but for me, this is good news. Ismail Kabia has signed a new contract with the club, which is quite fantastic. Hopefully, he gets time in the first team. Hopefully, he gets minutes in the first team, because Kabia, that's a very good sign. In my opinion, that is a very, 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 very good sign. At least for me. I think that could actually mean something good. Here we go. Oh, I know what I want to show you. Because I'm not so sure if you have seen it or not. So I just want to get your take on this. If I can find it on the spot. There it is. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you it in a second, right? Arteta is a control freak. These players are chained. They're waiting for the chains to come off. Let loose. Yeah, 100%. 100% they're waiting for the chains to come off. What do you think will come in for Arteta when he gets sacked, and where would he coach after Arsenal? I think Arteta is going to go to Spain, and he's probably going to coach like Sevilla, Real Sociedad, lol, something like that. He's going to go back home, potentially, unless he gets a massive offer from someone. I don't know, Saudis maybe, who knows. Who replaces him, that's a different story. Because I have my favorites. Obviously, it means we have to buy out their new contracts and everything, which Arsenal are not going to do. I know that. But I would love to have Nagelsmann, Hansi Flick, of course, Luis Enrique, Conte, Pellegrini. Obviously, Inzaghi was an option. Ancelotti was an option. They all have signed new deals, or they're at the clubs, and we are not going to get them. Xavi, I would say. People say Cesc, but I need Cesc to win stuff. I need for Cesc to have some merits. I need to see Cesc winning trophies before he signs for Arsenal, if he signs for Arsenal, in my opinion. But knowing Arsenal, they will probably go for, like, I don't know, West Bromwich Albion assistant coach, give him a 6-year deal, 20 million a year, then going to give him 2 billion and trust the process, basically. The new generations is mostly Arteta out. The new generations. Which is the new generations? Like, because you count me in new generation or old generation. It depends where the new generation age stops. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, what I wanted to show you, and this is going to be nuts, I'm telling you right now, so people bear with me here. Share the screen. Let's go there. I don't know if you have seen this or not, but just look at this. Listen to this and look at this. Seriously.
2008 versus Arsenal 2025. First one, Van der Sar or David Raya?
It's hard. It's got to be Van der Sar.
Yeah. Overall, as a footballer, Raya could probably get there, but right now, Van der Sar.
Raya's done, what was it, 2 Golden Gloves in 2 seasons?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. But Van der Sar's won a lot more.
Unbiased. We love that. Next one, Lewis Skelly or Patrice Evra?
Lewis Skelly.
Over Patrice Evra,
yeah, Lewis Skelly. His ceiling is way higher.
Lewis Skelly over Patrice Evra, you know?
You know what? We had that on camera. Fair play, mate. Next one, Urian Timber or Gary Neville?
I think I like Gary Neville more as a pundit than I did as a player.
Rio Ferdinand
Timber over Gary Neville.
and William Saliba?
That's unfair. That's a Saliba.
Saliba over Rio Ferdinand as a player.
I'll stick with Saliba.
Okay,
Let's
we
go.
Saliba for now. Next one, Gabriel or Vidic?
Vidic, I think. Although Vidic, I think he's just won loads, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an absolute leader. Many trophies. Sorry, mate.
That's
Yeah,
a good pairing, that centre-back pairing.
Okay, cool. Nice one. Next one. Here's a tough one, mate. Paul Scholes or Declan Rice?
I'm going to go full bias here. Rice.
You know what?
Rice
Arsenal
over
fans will agree with
Scholes.
that.
Yeah, he has absolute lungs on him.
Yeah, fair play. Zubimendi or Carrick?
I feel like Carrick just won a lot. So for now, we'll go Carrick.
Have you noticed, by the way, his metric for picking United players are he has won a lot more than that player from Arsenal. You know that every single United player he has named has won a lot more than any of the Arsenal players.
That seems fair.
Fair play. Next one. Ødegaard or Ryan Giggs?
That's tough. They're different players, so I'll go Ødegaard.
Ødegaard over Ryan Giggs, you know. Ødegaard over Ryan Giggs.
Okay, fair play. Next one. CR7. And there's one player who I'm going to compare him to right now. Bukayo Saka. What are you saying for that one, mate?
Saka.
Saka over Cristiano Ronaldo. Ballon d'Or winning Cristiano Ronaldo.
Get Saka in.
Okay, so Saka's made the team. Okay, next one. Wayne Rooney or Gyökeres?
Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney, yeah. That's
a no-brainer. Best player, best striker in Premier League history.
Yeah, but hopefully by the end of the season, I'll be made to look like a fool on that one.
Maybe he could score 30 goals. You never know. And the last one, Nani or Madueke?
I mean, give Madueke a chance, sure, but like Nani did achieve a lot in his career.
Holy crap. Serious talk. Holy crap. Well, this is the state, like, come on, man. You know, Saliba over Rio Ferdinand. Timber over Neville. Rice over Scholes, you know. Who else was there? Ødegaard over Ryan Giggs. Ødegaard over Ryan Giggs. Who else was there? Oh, yeah, Saka over Cristiano Ronaldo. Kroenkes will bring in a novice and pay him world-class wages, most likely. Raya is a hard one. What is he on exactly? Raya versus one the Stark. I will. Remind me on WhatsApp, right? But I will send you after the stream. Kepa is our most decorated player, yeah. The logic makes sense. 1 minute he's choosing because they won more. Next minute choosing for different reason. This basically, yeah. He always chooses like that. If he picked only, for example, trophies, it would be whole United squad. Like that shadow of it's out and everything. Like it's actually nuts. This guy has to be most likely, and this is the reason why there are so many Arteta-ins and everything, because I cannot believe that there were how many 6 Arsenal players chosen over United's 2008 squad. 6 Arsenal players from the current squad, you know. Saka is not even on the level debate. Ronaldo especially. Exactly. That is the case. That is the thing. Like Saka over Ronaldo. Like, what? In which universe does that make any sense whatsoever? In which universe? Saka will be lucky if he gets even half of the trophies Ronaldo has gone in his career. That will be even an insane achievement for Bukayo Saka. Sorry, not sorry, but I said it to Arsenal fans. Like, that is the nuts part in all of this. That is the nuts in all of this. But yeah. Holy crap. I'm not gonna lie. Holy crap. Wait, sorry, misclick. Here we go. Gary Neville has spoken. The one that got the same guy that TikTok you just saw, he picked Timber over Gary Neville. I think Manchester United will beat Arsenal 2-1. I just think it's really bad game for Arsenal to get the first up 1-2 United. Interesting. Bro, I'm stoned most of the day. I'm not delusional to pick Rice over Skull. It's crazy work. Exactly. That is the thing. Like, you can do lots of things. I can be wasted to the insaneness that I don't even know my own name. But I would never pick Saka over Ronaldo. Rice over Scholes and stuff like that. Like, it's actually insane. It would be funny, though, everything goes right for Arteta and he wins everything and becomes bigger legend than Wenger. Dude, if he wins a treble this season, and like that would... in some parallel universe, that's probably the thing. But you need to talk with Flash with that so he can run and he can get into time warp and go to that parallel universe. But in this life, this is the same guy who said United finish over Liverpool last season. True. So, and by the way, did you notice that this guy on TikTok also said that he prefers Gary Neville as a pundit over than he was a player? Hence why he picked Timber over Neville. Not one out of our team make the incident none. Exactly. That is the case. Maybe 2 of them would be lucky if they make bench. That would be also the thing. If I got £200 per week, I would be Arteta in. So you would sell out for pound note. But to be honest, 200 grand a week, like literally, think about this. You get 200 grand a week, right? You do that for 2 months, you have technically 2 million minus the tax, right? And everything, you get about 900 grand. 900 grand for 2 months job with Arteta in. After that, you basically I'm Arteta out again and everything. Kind of works, doesn't it? Yeah, but that is insane. That is literally insane, that clip. I don't know what is going on. How much did that guy get paid to say that, though? Because to take some stuff like this and to talk like that with such confidence and such, I don't even know how to describe this, behind all of that, and say that it should be the case, it's actually kind of nuts. Not one Arsenal fan, but not one Arsenal player gets into that scene. I don't want this manager at our club, but of course we all want him to prove us wrong. Exactly. The thing is, he let us down time after time to now feel the way we do, and that's what some Gooners don't fathom. Exactly. We have been the leaders, we screwed it up. We have been the chasers, we screwed it up. We were in prime position, and we screwed it up anyways. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm not an Arteta fan. I don't have to be. It's not Arteta FC. It's Arsenal FC. I want Arsenal to succeed. Do I have to agree with every decision club makes? No, I don't. Because even in family goes the same way, by the way. In family, you don't agree upon everything. You have fights, you have arguments, you have disregard, something you don't like. Game day comes, you support everyone. Something happens in family, everyone's together. It's togetherness. Everyone supports everyone. Game day comes, I support Arsenal. I want Arsenal to win at the end of the day. Right? At the same time, I can disagree. I have rights to my opinions and thoughts at the end of the day. Like, and people try to disregard and take that away from me. That is the big thing. People try to make it like it's something very unacceptable to have an opinion these days. And that is the case. That is the case, actually, in many ways, shapes, and forms, in many... Sorry, my camera went just... In many ways, shapes, and forms, in many walkings of life. That is the case these days. They try to take your voice away from you at the end of the day. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, obviously, I would be over the moon if Arteta can prove me wrong and he wins Premier League, Champions League, something. I would be over the moon. I would give him his props. I would sit here with my hands held up high. I would be happy. I would give him his praise and support. But he has done nothing to convince me otherwise so far to do that. When we win a game and his tactics are spot on, he makes the right subs, I sit here and give him praise at the end of the day. But people don't listen to that. People don't come here. As soon as Arteta does something different, the interview comedy shows and something like that, transfer issues, I talk about that. Oh, you're being toxic and negative. Where are you when I praise him, for example? And how comes, in your eyes, Arteta cannot do anything wrong? Literally, he could kick a puppy and you would still support what Arteta does. Like, make it make sense. Arteta can't prove me wrong from here. It's done. Get out. Win me a trophy while here, but get out. Exactly. Because for me as well, I want to win Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and everything. But for me at the moment, after all these years, 6 years in December 19th, right? Billion spent almost. FA Cup is not enough. Carabao Cup also is not enough. Because if you spend so much time, so much money into something, you have to win the big things. But you cannot even win the smallest of things anymore. Comparatively, obviously. Not diminishing any cups, by the way. For Arteta to keep his job, give us 15 points in the first 5 games. If the Cronkies got balls, that's what they should be telling him. Exactly. Exactly. But I think these first 5-6 games, for me personally, it's the first 6 games, because the 6th game is Newcastle at St. James Park, and we know how well we do there every single season for the last few years. So I'm kind of putting that into equation as well. So we will see. We will see. But so far, it doesn't inspire me. I'm not inspired. I'm not too excited at the same time. Of course, tomorrow Arsenal play Manchester United. We will see what is what. We will have to see. Will we play some different type of football? We will play the same boring-ass type of football. What is going to happen on the pitch? Who is going to start? I don't know. But I want to tell you one thing. Gyökeres better start. Because if Havertz starts the game, sack him in the tunnel. Sack him in the tunnel at halftime if Havertz starts the game. Already telling you that much. Gyökeres must start. Yeah, people, keep smashing the likes and subscribe. Big up, Vigilante. Big up. It would take me 5 years, 6 days a week, 8 hours to make 200. If I can keep my job and you tell me a guy sleeping on the bench, maybe yeah, basically, yeah. That's what it is. It seemed like, for example, Cedric Suarez last season, or what? No, 2 seasons ago. He was on what, 70, 80 grand a week? He played what, 100 minutes? He played 100 minutes and he got 80 grand a week. Now, if you times that by 52 weeks, right, that's 5.6 million. No, 4 million. Give me 4 million, I will play 100 minutes. I won't do it good. I will do it something rather. I will run around like headless chicken. 1 season, you can let me go for free. Time's up. Job done. I'm set for life. Like, come on. You pay me 200 grand a week, I will bring towels to every player when he gets subbed off, and I will be happy. Like, it's actually insane. It is actually insane if you think about it that way. We'll see. We'll see. Nottingham Forest officially for £30 million has signed James McAtee from City. Good signing for Forest, by the way. Edu is actually doing some decent business for Forest. I don't care if football is boring, but we must... Exactly. George Graham days, 1-0 to the Arsenal and all this stuff. Do you think people gave a damn about the style of football? Nobody gave a damn. We won the league, we won and everyone moved on. As long as you get 3 points on the board, nobody is complaining. But over these seasons, with the 14 draws, 56 crosses during a game, always falling short, losing 26 points from winning possessions last year, like, it's done. It's done and dusted. It has to stop. For my American fantasy football punishment, we have to get 750 TikTok followers, and it has to be cringe, so I'm going to be an Arteta in person with those songs. Sorry if you already saw them. American fantasy football punishment, we have to get 750 TikTok followers, and it has to be cringe. Do songs, do some videos, for example. If you have any Arsenal shirts, right? Do what Pinkas did, Pinkheim, right? You have, for example, soccer shirt, put it next to you on a bed, and, for example, good night, my buddy, or something stupid like that. It will work, trust me. Forest is having an underrated transfer. Yeah, they are. Let's check quickly Forest's window, because Edu is here, and I want to see this. Top arrivals. Top arrivals. Here we go. This is what Edu Gaspar has signed for Nottingham Forest. And I would say that's a very good window for Forest, personally. Those are just my thoughts. That's a very good window for Forest. Omari Hutchinson for £37 million. Dan Doy, very good signing, by the way. Very good signing for 37 million pounds. Igor Jesus from Botafogo. Jer Cunha for 12. Very good signings. Very good signings. Angus Gunn, backup goalkeeper. Very good signing. End of loan, so he came back from Sheffield. And he promoted from Nottingham under-21s Zach Abbott, the center back. Very good window for Forest. Very good window for Forest, if you ask me. Edu is actually doing a decent job there, personally. Like, Igor Jesus was the ones Arsenal wanted. We never signed him because Arteta didn't allow that player to be signed for Arsenal. He's doing that for Forest. To be honest, also, Edu wanted at Arsenal to sign Bruno Guimaraes, Paqueta, and some other Brazilians, and Arteta said no. And yeah, they went to Newcastle and other teams, and they're cooking there. So yeah, the rest is history in those terms, if we are putting it that way. Hold on, I'm watching Luis Diaz's goal against Stuttgart. Beautiful. Luis Diaz has scored for Stuttgart. Anyways, on that note, people, I think I'm going to end today's stream. If you haven't already, like the stream and subscribe. Liverpool's football last season was not fancy footwork, but they won games and the tile. Yeah, Slot changed the in-game tactics. Arteta never does. Exactly. Compared to Klopp, in my opinion, Slot didn't change much. He made defense a bit more solid, a bit more composed, and he more or less slowed down a bit, a tiny bit, the attack, and made Salah a bit of a focal point through the right, and it worked. They didn't do anything fancy, nothing unique. Slot just changed few little bits here or there, and it took off. He must now just figure out how to play with the team, because their defense looked quite a bit shaky against Bournemouth, right? But he needs to figure out the defensive part. Otherwise, they will be good. They will be good. Like they lost 50% of their defense. It's gonna be an issue until they figure stuff out. But Slot is man for the job. He's gonna do a very good stuff there, I think, with that 100%. Especially if they get Isak or something like that. Yeah, it's gonna be very Peakums. Personally, for me, if Liverpool gets Isak, it's done. That's just my opinion. But yeah, people, as I said, I'm gonna end the stream here. Like the stream, subscribe. Of course, tomorrow, 8 p.m. UK time, I'm gonna be here live to react to Arsenal versus United game. Whether it's gonna be a happy thing or it's gonna be a pissed off, annoying thing, we will see. We literally will see, people. Yes, smash the likes, subscribe, people. But for today, I am out. So take care. Have a nice evening. Have a nice, great tomorrow. Enjoy football, because football is happening all over the place, and it's fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, gonna go watch some La Liga now. But yeah, for today, I am signing off. So take care, stay safe, have a nice evening, and see you tomorrow after United game. Peace.